Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. So we had a very eventful weekend here, and let's get started with the recaps for each divisional game. So let's get started with the first one, the Rams versus Packers. So I had the Packers winning by 2 touchdowns, and I was correct. It won by 2 touchdowns. Now it was more high scoring than I thought it was going to be. My question about this game that left me puzzled was where was the top five Rams defense? Like, the Rams looked so lost against the Packers. And I know Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback and all, but they just looked completely lost. They gave up way too many rush yards along with the passing yards. In all honesty, the Packers should have scored more than 32 points. The Rams are fortunate that they didn't give up more than that. Um, so now to talk about a quick summary of what the Rams need to do this offseason. They do need to get better certain places. Like they need to add more depth on the O line, and then I would be thinking about Goff. He played fine during the playoff game, but obviously he's very limited because he's more of a pocket passer. I mean, he can move in the pocket, but he's more of a pocket passer, which obviously those are going to exceed in the NFL. And then also, even though he didn't do it against the Packers throughout the season, when he got pressure, it would have forced him into a bad turnover. So if he can clean that up, then maybe he can keep his job. But if I were Sean McVay, I would seriously consider moving off him, whether it's a trade for Deshaun Watson, trade for Matthew Stafford, or someone in the draft that they're high on. I would seriously consider. Um, Ravens versus Bills. Well, I was wrong on this upset pick. There was an upset, but I was wrong on this one. Um, Once I saw the center have some bad snaps, and once I saw one of the best NFL kickers miss 2 field goals, I knew the Ravens were in trouble. Lamar, right before the fourth, then threw a pick six, and he got injured. Um, so that was unfortunate for the Ravens. Shockingly, the backup rookie Tyler Huntley did a decent job under the circumstances. But again, if you were to tell me that the Bills only scored 17 points, I would say, oh, well, Baltimore won then. But that's not the case. But it's clear that for the offseason, the Ravens need a true number one receiver. Since I doubt they'll be able to trade out for like a top 3 wide receiver in this upcoming draft, if I were them, I would go look at trading for Odell Beckham Jr. We know he's not going to stay in Cleveland and that he's going to get traded, so go after him. I know the Browns were within the division, so trading for him might be a little bit tricky, but that's a perfect wide receiver to go get on the Ravens. And also, what I saw from Lamar Jackson is that you're not going to win the Super Bowl with them. I'm sorry. This once again the playoffs. This game showed that he cannot win the game to the playoffs unless he becomes a way more accurate downfield passer. Just because when the box is crowded and the people prepare for the run against you, and they're basically begging you to pass it, then you got to be able to do that if you want to go to the Super Bowl. And so far, Lamar hasn't shown he can do that in the playoffs. Browns versus Chiefs. Well, this game was pretty close and exciting after all. Mahomes got a concussion, which, by the way, Lamar and Patrick getting concussed in the playoffs is not good for the league. Anyways, this set things in question, but then Chad Henne got the job done with his arm and legs to send the Chiefs back to the AFC Championship game. A gutsy play call by Andy Reid, by the way, to pass on 4th and inches. It was actually smart of him because the defense was not thinking. The defense was either thinking, okay, they're going to try to draw us off sides, or it's just going to be handoffs to the running back to run it. But that was an impressive move there. Um, Now, if Mahomes can come back for the AFC Championship game, then I still like the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. But if he can't, then while I think the Chiefs can remain competitive, it looks like the Bills would have the very high chance of going to the Super Bowl finally. Now, as for the Browns, we all know this offseason, whether it's through the draft or free agency, they need to upgrade their secondary, period. Um, I'm not sure which specific players to target, whether it's draft or free agency, but they just got to make some moves, maybe go after Richard Sherman or something like that. And then also, as I said earlier, they should trade Odell Beckham and get more, so that way they can get more defensive picks in the draft. Um, Also, Mayfield, we'll see if he gets a contract extension. I feel like he's done enough to not necessarily get like a big one, like a 5 year, 100 plus. I don't think it's like that much, but he can get like a 3 year, $60 million extension or something. Like I feel like he's deserved like Teddy Bridgewater contract type of thing. Um, and then the Bucks versus Saints, -4 in the turnover margin. Saints fans, that is why you lost the game. Like Big Ben, the Steelers had -4 turnover margin against Cleveland last week, and they lost the game. And also, like Big Ben, but to more of an extent, Drew Brees is done. He should not come back at all because he is actually, believe it or not, and this is going to be controversial, but he's a liability. That's right, I said it. It's all good in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, they seem to have been very limited because, like I said about Lamar Jackson, if you can't be a threat, pass downfield, be a threat in that way, then in the playoffs, things just get tighter, defenses play harder, it's just going to be harder to convert, no matter if you're accurate or not, which in this game, Drew Brees was obviously not accurate. Um, I don't care who the QB is, it's just going to be hard to get that done. I'll save the QB battle debate for next season for another day, but Brees should retire, and the Saints have no money, so we'll have to see what they do about this offseason. By the way, missing Taysom Hill, missing Latavius Murray, Deontay Harris going out early in the game, those are big deals as well. And if they had those three players for a full game, 100%, I feel like things go differently. But you just can't be -4 in the turnover margin and expect to win a playoff game. But now we get Brady and Rodgers in the NFC Championship game, which would be very interesting. So over the past weekend, we got some coaching hires or strong rumors. But let's dive through them, shall we? So the first domino to fall was Urban Meyer getting hired at Jacksonville. So the letter grade that I would give this hire is a C. Here's why. A lot of people may be thinking, oh, why is it not higher? Here's why. One of my worries is his health reasons. Now, Urban said that shouldn't be a concern right now because he's not going to be doing as much on the field stuff, but you never know. Health problems are health problems. Next, college NFL is a totally different ball game. Just look at Nick Saban. Now, of course, he gets if he gets the right staff, that'll help a lot, and also he's going to get Trevor Lawrence most likely, which would be nice for him. And who knows, maybe he can work out. I mean, Matt Rule, who just came from Baylor and now is at Carolina. I mean, he's right now. I can feel like he's already starting to, he didn't win a lot of games this year. I can see him starting to like change the culture. So I feel like Urban Meyer can definitely do that because he's changed the culture at everywhere he's gone to. So I feel like he could definitely, at the very least, do that. Now, as far as him going to Super Bowl, like winning the playoffs, I'm not sure. That's we'll see if that ever happens or not. But as far as change culture, that's why I feel like, well, at least you're doing that, so that's why you can at least get a C grade. Plus, again, you'll have Trevor Lawrence, so you have a good enough quarterback. So I feel like Urban Meyer, he can win like 5 games his first year, but then I'll be watching to see if he's competitive, what it looks, and if they're going to keep on improving or not. The next coach hire is Robert Saleh for the Jets. I thought he would land Detroit, and I thought Detroit should go after him hard, but oh well. The Jets' work, in my opinion, I give this hire a B+. It's one of the best coaching hires so far, and here's why. As we saw in San Francisco, he gets the best out of his players. San Francisco was a bad defense. When he came there, but under him, they became like a top 5 defense. It also helped improve a lot of young players like Fred Warner. Also, you can tell he feels respected by the players, unlike Adam Gase, who clearly wasn't. So everything Solid is the opposite of Gase, which is good. Now, some people may think hiring a defensive coach may not be good for Sam Darnold, but I'm fine with it, and here's why. Because he's bringing Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother, and he comes from the Shanahan tree, which we all know the offenses are good, and it's a QB-friendly type of system. If Sam Darnold doesn't work out in 2021, he can't be successful in the offense, and then he's screwed, and they should move on. But especially I heard from Schefter, the plan is to stick with Sam Darnold from now to see if he can be successful in this type of offense. Which means with the number 2 pick, they might want to trade if I were them. But the reason why I don't give this hire a full like A, but it's because they have the Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots in the division. So good luck not only get to the playoffs, but at least being competitive in the division. I still have to see what happens to free agency draft in terms of the media impacts. But again, I like this long-term hire. I like this. Then we got Arthur Smith, the Titans offensive coordinator, getting hired to Atlanta. I'm going to give this grade a B, and here's why. He comes from that Shanahan tree, which I already revealed why that's important. He uses a very nice balance of both run and pass, which is good because Matt Ryan passing 50 plus times a game is not going to work. We saw Big Ben passing 50 plus times a game, ain't going to work. Also, he made Ryan Tannehill look like a Pro Bowler this year, which we did not see that coming. So I feel like imagine what you can do with Matt Ryan for a year or two before they eventually move on to QB. Now, my only concern is who is he going to bring in as his defensive coordinator, and how quickly can he turn around because Atlanta has a horrible defense. Um, Also, can the stigma of bullying leads finally end now with the new coach staff and GM, all that? If not, then good luck. So the Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley got hired last night to be the new Chargers coach. This comes as a shocker since Brian Daboll was the favorite going into the weekend. And the Rams defense looked really bad against the Packers on Saturday, as we know. I'm going to give this coaching hire a D, and here's why. First of all, there are no if there are no injuries, then the Chargers defense is actually pretty good, not the total problem, although they can use some depth here and there. The goal was to help take Justin Herbert to the next level despite his excellence his rookie season. We saw what Brian Daboll did for Josh Allen, going from potential bust to now an MVP candidate. Now this can become like a minimum grade, like a C, maybe C plus, depending on who he hires as his offensive coordinator. Because if he hires an excellent offensive coordinator, okay, then this maybe can work. But as of right now, this was not that great of a hire. Also, another one that's apparently going to be happening is that Detroit will hire Saints assistant Titans coach Dan Campbell as their new head coach. I'm going to give this a C minus. I even thought about giving this a film grade, but I'm going to give it a C minus, and here's why. First of all, yeah, he's an assistant coach. He's a Titans coach to be specific. He's not even like a coordinator, because most people make the jump for coordinator to coach, not a position coach to coach. But now Detroit has a good starting tight end, so I'm sure that's gonna be good for the tight end there in Detroit. But other than that, it's just like I'm not sure exactly what he learned or will use from Sean Payton. I understand you wanted to get an offensive guy here because obviously Matt Patricia's a defense guy, and you want to try to keep Matt Stafford there and make him better. But the problem with Detroit was not their offense; it was their defense. Their defense was so horrible last year. Now, if he's going to steal like the Saints defense coordinator Dennis Allen to fix it, maybe we're talking something there. But if not, then I feel like unless he gets like an outstanding DC, then that won't solve much problems, especially with Aaron Rodgers in the division. Now, one thing that I can't say about this hire, the reason why I'll give it barely a passing grade, is that the Saints obviously have established a good culture, which hasn't always been the case with the franchise. So maybe he takes this pathetic franchise to maybe becoming like this. Because the Saints were a pathetic franchise for a while, but then eventually Sean Payton and Drew Brees thing that kind of turned around. So maybe he learned from that. Maybe, okay, now I kind of know what it takes to be a winning franchise, so maybe he'll provide that. But like I said, I thought they should go with Saleh or Bieniemy, but well. So now the two coaching jobs remaining is the Eagles and Texans. If I were both, I would make sure Daboll is in heavy consideration since he did not get the Chargers job. But however, though, if you're a head coach, getting an interview for either the Eagles and Texans job, right now both of these jobs are not appealing for different reasons. So I would be very careful about taking them, and whoever takes these jobs, good luck. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. This is my podcast. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you.